This is Alan. Alan's Lonely Bookshelf here with a book tour of shelves. These are all ones I have here are all New York Review of Books. A couple of years ago, they had a massive sale, so I have like 20 different books here. So let's get started. First one is The Grand Hotel by Vicki Bond. This is the Grand Hotel in the center of 1920s Berlin, serves as a microcosm of the modern world, and Vicki Bond's celebrated novel, a Weimar era bestseller that retains all its verse and luster today. Among the guests of the hotel is Dr. Otterschlag, a World War I veteran whose face had been sliced in half by a shell. Day after day, he emerges to read the paper in the lobby, discreetly inquiring at the desk of the letter he's been waiting for years. So this is the Grand Hotel. It was made into a movie. The next one is an excellent one. I haven't read this one, Grand Hotel, yet. I have read this one. This is one of the books that's on the 1001 books you have to read before you die. This is Berlin, Alexander Plotz by Alfred Dublin, and it's a novel about Berlin and doomed Weimar Republic. Show you a little bit about this. This gentleman just gets out of prison, and here it is right here. Subject of the book is the life of the former cement working hauler Franz Bitterkopf in Berlin. He's just been released from prison where he did time for some stupid stuff, and now he's back in Berlin, determined to go straight. To begin with, he succeeds, but then through doing all right for himself financially, he gets involved in the setup with the unpredictable external agency that looks an awful like fate. 3 times the force attacks him and disrupts his scheme. The first time comes at him with dishonesty and deception. Our man is able to get to his feet and to stand his ground. Then he strikes him a low blow. He has trouble getting up from that. It is almost counted out. And finally, it hits him with a monstrous and extreme violence. And this is a very good. It shows there are parts in here which has a news reports about the stock market and everything, and it just tells you about the situation, what's going on in Berlin. And this is it's about it's 440 pages. But in the last part is the road is into freedom. Into freedom, the whole world is doomed. Wake up, dawn air, and link arms, and right and left, and right and left, and marching. We're marching into the war. With us, our 100 comrades, drawn and play, willow bond. One's all right, the other's all wrong. One stops still, the other falls down. One runs on, the other lies still. Whittle bomb. This is an excellent book. The next book is the Journals of Henry David Thoreau, 1837 to 1861. And this is basically his last work. I went through his last work of Henry David Thoreau. The next one is Blindness by Henry Green. As the first novel by Henry Green when he was at Eton, and I actually read all of this, and it was a very good book. The next one, let me skip this one and go to this one. This is Stoner by John Williams. One of those books that everybody, hardly anybody's read, and it's very good. William Stoner is born In the 19th century, a poor Missouri farm, is the only son. He goes to college, a farm college, and he wants to learn English now instead of farming. And he has a lot of disappointments and everything. And he's just like the picture shows, he's looks like that. As he gets married, his disastrous marriage. But it's very good. It's going to be made into a movie. Supposedly, the next one is The Great Notebook by Joseph Pla. I haven't read this one yet, and this is one of the most colorful, useful works in modern literature. 1918, when Pla was in Barcelona studying law, the Spanish flu broke out. The university shut down and went home to his parents in coastal Palafrugell. Aspiring to be a writer, not a lawyer, he solved the homeless styles by keeping a journal. And this is the journal, The Great Notebook. I'm trying to get some of these in order. This one is the Prince of Minor Writers, Selected Essays of Max Beerbohm. I haven't read this one yet. And Max Beerbohm, Virginia Woolf called Max Beerbohm on the back. It says, the Prince of Essayists. F.W. Dupree praises whim of iron and cleverness, accounting to geniusness, while Beerbohm himself noted that the insane take themselves quite seriously. The next one I have read, this is a very good book. I need to get my bookmark out there. Excuse me. This is The Door by Magnus Zebo. I've seen a lot of people on BookTube read this. I haven't read it. It's unsettling about two different women. One is hired as a maid and sets apart to the maid sets apart to change the author's life. Set in where was this set? Hungary, I believe. I think it's set in Hungary. It was actually a translated work. Yeah, it's translated by Lynn Ricks. The next one is Letters of Summer 1926. This is Boris Pasternak, Marina Zaveta, and writer Maria Relke. It's prefaced by Susan Sontag. And all of this is just letters passing by, back and forth between these three. The next one is The Notebooks of Joseph Joubert, translated in an introduction by Paula Starr. I have no idea why I bought these and not only read them, but this elusive French luminary Joseph Joubert is a great explorer of the mind's open spaces, edited and translated by Paul Auster. Selection for Joubert's notebooks introduces the master of enigmatic, who seeks to call everything by its true name. It's a very short book. I should read it. The next one is the pages from the Goncourt journals from Edmond and Jules de Goncourt. This one I have not read yet. The journals brothers Edmond and Jules de Goncourt, one of the masterpieces of the 19th century French literature. A work that is richness of color, variety, simile, casual perfection, bears comparisons with the great painters of the French and contemporaries, the Impressionists. This has to be translated. Let's see who translated this. Oh, Robert Baldick. And there's the two right there. The next one is I got this at a thrift store. This is very good. I've read all these, and this is a Grecian runner. History of the German occupation by George Psakodakas. Translated by Patrick Lee Farmer. That's when Crete, the Isle of Crete, was invaded by the Germans. And English didn't want to help them. And so they ended up battling the Germans by themselves. Excuse me. Excuse me. This next one is called The Wastelands. This is by George Christoph Leuchtenberg with translation and introduction by Robert J. Hollendale. And it's a German scientist and man of letters, George Christoph Leuchtenberg, 18th century polymath, experimental psychic, and astronomer, mathematician, practical critic of art and letter. Most celebrated, however, excuse me, for his work on this book here, The Waste Books. This was a very good book. This is the New York Stories of Edith Wharton with selection and introduction by Roxanne Robinson. There's several, there's about 20 or 30 books and stories in here. It was copyrighted 2007. There's one story in here that I read that the society has its privilege. It wasn't. It didn't have privilege. It wouldn't be a society. I'm missing just a moment. Excuse me. I was missing one. This one is The Glass Bees by Ernst Younger. And its introduction by Bruce Sterling. Glass Bees. Bruce Sterling lives in Austin, Texas. How interesting. Let me get something to drink. Excuse me. So, The Glass Bees by Ernst Younger, if you don't know, was a German officer during World War I and during World War II. I have his book. I read his book about his diary of World War I. It's very good. He went into science fiction and started writing about science fiction. This book is about a scientist who wants to make robotic bees. Now, these robotic bees can, it's sort of like a drone. In fact, later on I was reading a book and I forgot the name of it, and it was talking about how somebody used a drone to kill another person. And it was just a small drone you could put in your hand, the palm of your hand, and the bee would take off. Or the drone would just take off and kill the person. They wouldn't know who did it because it was so small. And this book was first introduced that, and it was copyrighted in 1957. Translated was copyrighted in 1960. And that's what this is about. It's about glass bees, about robotic bees taking over the world. The next one, oh, I read that one. The next one, this is a very good one. This is Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, 1768 to 1800 by Francois René de Chevron. Introduction by Anna Molston. Francois René de Chateaubriand was born in Saint-Malo on the northern coast of Brittany. He had an aristocratic family. He hung around with Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette. He witnessed the French Revolution with pikes, heads on spikes. He went over to New York, America, and met George Washington, and he came back, and then he fled France because he was nobility, and went to England, and then wrote this journal. He became a Roman Catholic also. So this is the Memoirs from John's Grave, 1768 to 1800 by Francois René de Chateaubriand. The next three, and I thought I had another one, is by the same author. This is Vaseline Grossman. I do have another one somewhere. I don't know where I put it. But anyway, this one was written after the Soviet authorities suppressed his masterpiece, Life and Fate, which I do have, and this one is right here. Life and Fate, of which I saw the movie that's based on this on Amazon Prime, and this is a massive 800 volume set. His next one, of course, was Stalingrad, Vaseline Grossman, and yeah, I had both of those two. This one, Life and Fate, Everything Flows. I have another one somewhere, and just a couple of short stories in here. It's what it is. It's towards the end of his life. I mean, yeah, Everything Flows. I have another one in. I said that already, but I don't know where it is. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good week.